evening, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to a very special night celebrating Motorsport Magazine's centenary.
My father was a subscriber in the 50s, so we've had it in the house since then.
It's a celebration of 100 years of a quite remarkable magazine, which down the years has become part of the genuine fabric of the sport.
So it was a great monthly treat to sit down, even as an 8 or a 9-year-old child, and look through it and dream about the possibilities.
Now, anyone who's seen my career won't be surprised that I spun a car, but to do it in that car particularly was a bit of an underwear-changing moment.
There's so many faces and people around here. I'm really looking forward to the evening, and I'm sure that there'll be lots of stories about how the older we get, the faster we were.
But the car had only done 8 hours before Le Mans without stopping, and somehow it did 24, and in a good way. So it was an amazing achievement.
To be one of the very few Bentley boys is very special.
It's sort of one of those contemplative reads that, you find a quiet moment and you sit down and you read motorsport.
I would just sit there and look at it, not even thinking that I'd ever be involved in motorsport at any stage of my life at that point.
Most designers don't ever think too much about the driver, although I think actually Colin...
Yes, Adrian's here somewhere.
We all look at each other and go, I think I know you. So we've all got rather old.
The steering collapsed and knocked my knuckles onto the dashboard. And Jim Enderwright came up and said, we're worried about it, I thought that might happen.
The magazine has that great history, and it's regarded by readers as much theirs as it is anyone's. It is a responsibility.
But the only magazine I remember as a boy, because you see it with that familiar sort of green on it in those days, in all the Smiths when you went in there.
My son sent me a text saying, Karun has said, could Bruno please drive today? And then he did drive on the final day, and somebody crashed into the back of it.
We knew all of the journalists very well because they would be going directly to the drivers.
Going to get some great stories, some wonderful writers, and people like me that really probably wouldn't normally buy magazines, buy that one simply because it is the best.
You won Man of the Year in 2012. It was frankly very confusing.
It was for me as well.
Yeah.
It's been such a special part, I think, of all of our careers in one way or another, that it's nice to be and honoured to be here celebrating its 100th anniversary.
It surprised a lot of people, and I used to say it's a little bit insulting. We are trying to make it go fast, so you shouldn't be so surprised.
The journalism is as good as it gets, and it's got a special place in all of our worlds.
So many people in this room, including myself, have read it since the age of pretty much when I could read. The fact that iconic green and white stripe is still on the shelves all these years later is outstanding.
It wasn't just the sports pages of the newspaper, it's the front pages of the newspapers that year when Colin won the World Championship.
My dad comes in and with his moustache and they want to know what it's like, and he goes, well, it's got some poke, hasn't it?
It's such a historic moment, with 100 years, so it's an event I had to say yes to, of course.
It's always a pleasure to celebrate, everyone's success, to see these amazing cars and hear about these amazing stories.
Yeah, thoroughly enjoy the magazine, and it gets read a great deal.
It's inspired, I'm sure, many generations of drivers, and as we see here as well, engineers, designers, racing team bosses alike.
It's such a wonderful thing to look back all those years and see the characters and read the real true history of motorsport.